I'm doing a Facebook Live.
You didn't.
A Facebook Live. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll post it after.
Hello, my dear family and friends of Facebook. I am so excited to be here with you today because we're going to talk about a very, very important topic, and that's protecting your bone. Did you know that after the age of 30, our bone density begins to naturally decline? But the good news is that we can take steps to strengthen and protect our bones at any age. So to help us with this topic, I'm thrilled to have Julie Shalom today, the owner of OsteoStrong in Roslyn. She's joining us from her office, OsteoStrong, and she's going to talk about this wellness center that helps people improve their bone density, balance, and overall strength. So Julie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Olga, for the introduction. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be able to share this resource that exists for people to be able to take advantage and be able to strengthen their bones and be proactive about their health.
This is so interesting, and I really do want to give this preview to our listeners on how we just came about this life really, really spontaneously. So I've known Julie for a few months, and I know exactly what she does. And she recently reached out to me that she wanted to join my book club that I do. And the books that I do on my book club on personal development are chosen so much in advance that it really was not planned. And as soon as we dived into the book, I realized that this is exactly her realm. This is what she does on the daily basis. And the specific chapter was chapter 17 of the book Aging Backwards by Miranda Esmonda White. Miranda Esmonda White. She really focuses on stretching and bone health and how you can reverse your aging with a specific technique of exercising and stretch technique. But when you focus on chapter 17, it really talks about how to protect the bone. So this is where I just invited Julie and I said, Julie, let's do this. People need to know, and who is better than you saying that? So let's start with the basic, Julie. Why is it so important to focus on bone health, especially as we age?
So our bones are the foundation of our body, right? We take it for granted that we're able to move, that we're able to stand up tall, that we're able to lift heavy things, that we're able to exercise. All these things come from a good, strong foundation of our bone. And surprisingly, we build our bone up until the age of 25. After age 25, we have a period of plateau. And then at age 30, we actually start to go the other way. We start to lose a little bit of bone density as we get older. And we aren't taught about it until we're in our mid 50s or 60s, when already the bone loss has gotten so progressive that you're forced to take medication. But if you know that the decline starts at 30, then you can take steps to prevent the decline and help your skeletal system stay strong as you get older.
This is so true because many people really think about muscle strength, but we all forget about the bone and how crucial the bone is because strong bones are really the foundation of mobility, balance, overall health. We talked about it so much yesterday. And without them, even simply daily activity can become so challenging. So, at what age should people start being proactive about protecting their bone?
So, proactive comes from lifestyle, right? You want to continue being that way from your young adult life to your mid 30s, 40s, 50s, and even as you're older. You want to continue the good habits of exercising. And so it makes it really hard if you've never done any type of exercising when you were younger to kind of start when you're older, because that's when you start to become a little more deconditioned. If you're not using your muscles, if you're not using that strength that you have, then you're actually starting to decline quicker when you're in your midlife. So starting to be proactive about it in our young, I would say as parents, feeding your children the appropriate nutrition, because that's when all that building starts. So if you're a picky eater, if you're not getting that good foundation in your youth, then once you hit 30 and you haven't built up that good foundation, then you're at a disadvantage. So it all starts from being when we're really young. But unfortunately, that's not, that emphasis is not placed there. It's placed when we are already older and we already have that bone, decline happening. So really it starts when we're young, even as young as, our 20s. There's still time to strengthen the bone there, because at that 30-year-old mark is when that decline starts. And even then, it's not too late to do something. Even then, you can still strengthen. You just have to be willing to do it and realize the importance of your skeletal health and your overall health.
So basically, even 50s or 60s and beyond still can be effective if they do certain things to improve their bone, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Strengthening the bone is never too late. I always like to, it's late when you're dead. So if you're able to move, if you're mobile, if you have that willpower, if you have that drive, go for it.
So you just mentioned nutrition and lifestyle, which is so important because in the Aging Backwards book, the author talks a lot about weight bearing exercises for building stronger bones. Can you explain why these exercises are so effective?
Yes. So weight bearing, is that emphasis is placed on weight bearing for bone because you need to be putting force and impact on the bone to keep it regenerating and strong. There's a little bit of a misconception nowadays where, they tell you, oh, you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, start doing weight bearing exercises now. But it doesn't work like that. Now, at that point, when you've already lost bone, those are not enough to reverse it. They can keep it at bay, but you need to load a lot more force onto the bone in order to start reversing that process. And that's where OsteoStrong comes in. So with this company, we're actually able to allow people to safely load a large amount of force onto the bone to start that bone regeneration process. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I've never exercised a day in my life, I don't know what I'm doing. It's the technology that we have allows you to start at any level at any age to be able to build strong bone by putting that weight bearing effect on it.
That's truly fascinating because these activities really strengthen the bone, and that's amazing. But I think exercise is not the only thing, and as you mentioned, nutrition really plays a big role in your bone. So what are some foods or supplements that support bone health?
So first and foremost, protein intake is very important. That's the foundation, the building blocks of our bone. A lot of us don't eat the right amount of protein. We think we're eating enough protein, but we're really not. And there's a lot of research out there now that shows how much protein intake is appropriate for your given body weight and any type of condition that you're having for proper bone rebuilding and recovery. So protein is the first one. Collagen, also very important. Another big one for joint health and also bone health. And then there are your minerals and your vitamins that are essential for bone health. So you have your D and your K, your calcium, magnesium, other minerals, which can be found. Your minerals can be found in food, but nowadays our diets are not as healthy, so we choose the quick thing versus having a nice big green leafy veggie salad, which has a lot of K in it, a lot of calcium. But if you're not eating that every day multiple times a day, then you're probably not getting enough of it. So that's where supplementation comes into play.
Yeah, these are great tips. And what I'm hearing, and I hope you guys are listening and taking notes because calcium, vitamin D are really the key players. These are the most important things that you need, along with vitamin K and magnesium. So if you don't get that from diet, really definitely supplement. And I know Julie has specific ones that are she's selling at her store, but there are other lifestyle factors, right, that play a big role on bone health. And the two that we've emphasized yesterday at our book club meeting was stress and sleep.
Yes.
What what do you say about that? How
So
does it?
those are definitely big ones, right? Stress can contribute to so many inflammatory conditions, and a lot of stress causes your body to have a lot of cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that is inflammatory to the body for long periods of time. So that in itself, just long periods of cortisol in the blood can actually start to deplete the bone, in addition to add inflammation to your other organs, which can cause a cascade of other chronic conditions developing. So meditating, proper sleep, Those are all important for your body to heal properly, to give it that time that it needs to recover and to mitigate all the effects that you're facing throughout the day. So if you have a stressful job or a stressful lifestyle, then incorporating, periods of meditation throughout your day, even if it's just as short as 10 minutes, can help to reset the nervous system and really get your body functioning properly again. So sleep and meditation are very important in helping with bone health and your overall health as well.
Yeah, and chronic stress is really what we're talking about. That really leads to this high elevated cortisol level,
Right.
and like Julie said, cortisol really weakens the bone. So if you have a lot of elevated stress hormones and you don't sleep enough, so you don't regulate those hormones correctly, that rebuilds in the bone, and so important to managing stress. Actually, with that, our next book club book that we selected is The Miracle of Mindfulness. Mindfulness is amazing in the miracles that it could do for just lowering that stress level. So I feel like this is really important. Managing stress is so crucial. So I want to explore a little bit of what you do, Julie. And I know OsteoStrong is known for helping people improve their bone density in specific innovating ways, which I was so fascinated to hear about yesterday. Can you tell us more what makes your facility so unique with the tools that you're using to do this?
Absolutely. So our system is called it's a biohack. And what that basically means is that you're tricking the body into thinking that your body's in trouble, but really it's not. You're in a controlled setting and you're using you're activating the body's own adaptive protective mechanisms to help you get stronger and healthier. So in the realm of OsteoStrong, we do that through a series of robotic technology that helps you exert a large amount of force in a safe way onto the different parts of your body. So bone loss and muscle weakness doesn't only occur in certain areas. If it's starting, then it's going to eventually affect the entire body. So we strengthen the entire body with 4 different machines that you're literally exerting about 10 to 15 seconds on at your fullest comfortable potential. And that large load, it could be anywhere from 2 to 10 times your body weight. So we have women as petite, as 5 feet, exerting about 1,000 to 2,000 pounds on their lower extremities, which strengthen the hips, all the bones in the hips, and allow that bone regeneration process to start. And that 10-second exertion is enough to activate that adaptive response. So those 4 machines targeting 4 different areas. And then we also incorporate vibration therapy to help with activating all those muscle and nerve cells in the body, which allow your bones and muscles to really benefit from the exercises that you're doing. And then on top of that, we incorporate some relaxing techniques to really seal it all in. So
That
that's a
sounds
typical session.
absolutely amazing. That's unbelievable. And I think like it doesn't have to be long. So I would want to know, what does a typical session at OsteoStrong looks like? Like how long does it take? What are the steps that you're taking with a new client?
So sessions are once a week and they
Mm.
can be as quick as 10 minutes in and
Wow.
out the door. And if you're choosing to incorporate any recovery modalities, it could go up to 30 minutes or an hour, depending on what you have time for. But the basic bone strengthening session is about 10 to 15 minutes once a week. You're not sweating, you're not sore, you don't have to come in your gym clothes. You just come as you are. We have people literally coming on their lunch break, doing the machines and heading out once a week. So it's efficient, but very effective.
That is really time efficient, and
Yeah.
it's so in fact impactful. If you're saying 10-15 minutes and you achieve those incredible results. So I would love to hear success stories. I'm sure you have a bunch of them.
Oh, we have so many success stories. So we have, a range of people, men, women. Obviously, this bone loss affects women more than men. So we have an 81-year-old woman who came to me about 2, 3 years ago with a cane, severe kyphosis, and has multiple kyphoplasties, which are cement between each vertebrae to help her keep standing because her spine became so weak from the bone loss, that she was afraid to walk anywhere without a cane. And she's able to come in without a cane, balance, completely confident in her balance, where before she was terrified to walk. And she walks in, she still works full time at 81 and is able to do her day-to-day activities and keep her bones strong at that age without having to fear of falling and fracturing herself. So she's been doing very well with balance. And then we have other women who've had success in their bone density scans. So you could actually monitor the progress of the program through having repeat bone density scans. So after 12 months, many of our clients go and get their bone densities rechecked and have improvement in their DEXA scans. So their bones actually, the scans actually showing that their bones have regenerated and become denser.
That's
So,
absolutely.
that's one of the many effects that you get from the program, not only balance and bone strength, but also flexibility, strength, endurance, and energy.
This is so incredible. And I think we should have started with the definitions because I'm not sure how much the audience are familiar with osteopenia versus osteoporosis. So if you can just explain that difference to the audience.
Sure. So osteopenia, to simplify it, is just the beginning stages. There's some gradual bone loss starting. So it's the beginning stages. And then when you hit osteoporosis with a T-score of negative 2.5 and higher, you're actually having a good amount of bone loss starting. So that's officially where the bone loss starts. And that's when doctors typically start to put you on medication to help reverse the process or
So that
stop the
patient you
process.
were saying, the 81-year-old, she already had osteoporosis.
Yes, she did have osteoporosis. And when you start off in osteoporosis, you're working against the the flow, right? So you're trying to rebuild we're trying to stop the loss and then start rebuilding. So it's harder to work going upstream than when you have osteopenia, but it's definitely still reversible. I've seen it time and time again with our clients.
What would be some simple daily habits that you would say the listeners should follow and implement today to protect their bone?
So protecting your bone, engaging in physical activity, whether it's weight bearing or any type of movement, continuing movement. A lot of us sit for long periods of time at desk jobs or stand for long periods of time. That affects your skeletal health, and your muscles become weaker, your bones become weaker. So constantly moving and engaging in some type of exercise. And then nutrition, protein intake is a big one. If you're not giving your body the building blocks to build a strong house, then you're not going to be able to build a strong house. So the nutrition aspect is very important as well. And then stress reduction is huge. Incorporating meditating, mindfulness, journaling, breath work, getting that good amount of sleep all helps with reducing that stress and inflammation further.
Yeah, basically have a good posture, reduce the strain. I think avoiding smoking as well,
Yes,
alcohol.
definitely smoking and alcohol as well. And then there are certain medications and conditions that can cause bone loss. So definitely speaking to your doctor or healthcare provider and just making sure that you're not on any of those in any of those categories where you're losing bone because of a medication or another inflammatory condition like celiac is a huge one. People don't understand the impact of your gut health and absorbing your nutrients. So gut health is a big one. It should be stressed more than it is.
That's true. And I talk a lot about gut health when I teach the brain class. Actually, a good friend of mine, Dr. Frida Davidov, she does a lot to repair the gut. And people don't realize how the gut has such a significant effect in a lot of different aspects of our health. So I hope that awareness will be there. But for someone who have never done weight bearing exercises, what do you think would be a good place for them to start?
For someone who's never exercised before, I would recommend starting 1 to 2 times a week with a trainer so that you're actually supported in the right position because positioning is everything. One wrong move and you can hurt yourself. So working with someone who can oversee you one on one so that you're getting into the groove of what the proper positioning is, and then slowly transitioning into other exercises once you build up that strength and endurance to be able to handle more rigorous exercise and higher weight higher weight exertion. And then of course coming to OsteoStrong, because we make it easy. You don't have to have a workout prerequisite. We have, like that 81-year-old woman I told you, she doesn't work out a day, but she's able to exert about 6, 7, or 800 pounds of force because she's supported in the right environment.
That is absolutely incredible. And I want to touch back what we've read in the book, the book that we just learned. The author really talks about even walking, like small steps. Start small, do something to kind of incorporate some form of exercises. I think yoga, right? And
Yes.
body weight, she focuses a
Yeah.
lot body weight exercises like squats and lunges and all of these light resistant stuff. You can use a light resistant bands, like anything that allows you to start, but definitely incorporate that. And
Right.
yeah, and it's really encouraging to know that there's such a facility. I know I'll be your client, like really, like this week already. 'Cause I feel like, you know what, I don't want to lose my bone, and I try to keep my posture, and I try to do all those exercises, but it's so important. And I'm so happy that this is the book we chose, and I've learned a lot more. Even the educator I am, there I haven't I didn't know so much from what I learned. So for those that are curious about their bone health, how can they measure their bone density?
Sorry, give me 1 second. So a way that you could measure your bone density is through a DEXA scan. So the DEXA scan is what's a routine exam. Once you hit your somewhere in your 50s and 60s, once that bone loss starts for women, um, doctors can send you for a routine bone density scan. But oftentimes, by the time they send you, it's not soon enough. So a bone density scan is one way. And there's actually a new technology out there now called the REMS Echolight, and it's an ultrasound technology. So it all is another way to check your bone density. It's more accurate and actually gives you a fuller picture of your bone health. So the DEXA scan currently doesn't provide us with our fracture risk or bone quality, but the REMS Echolight test does. It provides you with your bone quality as well as your bone density. And because it's an ultrasound, it doesn't involve radiation. And because it's with an actual ultrasound wand, the technician is able to get to where the bone actually is, and it can take into account whether there are any structural abnormalities like scoliosis or arthritis, which the DEXA scan actually does not take into account, so it could give you a false reading. So the Echolight is now available in the US. Um, if listeners want to take advantage of getting that scan done over a DEXA, it's definitely more accurate, and gives you a load of information.
Wow, this is really helpful. And really, thank you so much for such an informative and inspiring conversation. I feel like really when you read, and that's why I encourage lifelong learning, you learn things that you probably didn't even know and weren't exposed. So before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice that you wish everyone knew to protect their bone?
One piece of advice is eating properly, because the right nutrition, it's not just one. That's the thing, it's not just one thing. It's incorporating the right nutrients, the exercise, and the stress reduction. It's not just one. I have so many people that come and say, I've been a weightlifter all my life, I've eaten healthy all my life, how is it possible that I still have bone loss? It's because there are other factors that go into it that are being overlooked. So it's about being your own advocate and advocating for yourself to get the right testing. And it's your body after all. You're in tune with your body. No one knows it better than you. So being your own advocate is the best way to go about it so that you can be in the best shape possible as you get older.
Yeah, I think my takeaway is really don't wait until it's too late. Like start small, stay
Start
consistent.
small, start early.
Right. Remember that even small changes have such a big impact on your bone health over time. And this is really, in my opinion, the most valuable advice you can have and the takeaway that you can have from today. So where can people find you and learn more about the OsteoStrong that you have in Roslyn?
You can locate us at our website at www.osteostrongroslyn.com. And then also calling our center. Our number is 516-682-2458, and we can post it in the chat later. for those that are, wanting to have that contact with us.
Absolutely. I would love to have that. And guys, what I always say is learning is a gateway to a bright future. This is why I do those personal development books and book clubs and reading and development, because things that we absolutely don't know come up with someone else's knowledge. So definitely utilize it. And remember, protect your bone. It's your best gift for your future you. Your future you will thank you.
Yes.
So really take actions to ensure that your bone is strong and that you're healthy. And I'm really, really happy that we were able to get together today with Julie to bring that awareness. Guys, if you have any questions, you can comment below. You can definitely ask Julie. She is tagged on this message, on this stream. And I would love to hear your comments, your input. If there's anything that you are taking away from this lesson today, then we achieved what we wanted to achieve.
Yes.
Julie, thank you so, so much. This
Thank
was
you, Olga. Thank you for having me. And I'm excited for our next month of our book club, which is going to be very eye-opening and teaching us about meditation and the importance of mindfulness.
Yes, I think it is so important. And you said it, to reduce stress. That's the best way to know and learn how to calm yourself down. And just to kind of go back to the book, the author teaches the method of reducing stress. There's the box method that we talked about in other book clubs as well. There's so many methods that you allow your parasympathetic nervous system to just calm you down. And by doing that, it is such a great effect on all of your whole body, not just your bone, not just your mind. It's your whole body.
Whole body, yeah. It's a whole body reset when you do that. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if you are interested to join our book club, by all means, we're starting February 1st. We have the miracle of mindfulness to go through. We have Julie as one of the participants, along with all the other professionals we have.
Yes.
So that would be great. Thank you guys for joining me today. Again, thank you, Julie, for finding the time in your busy schedule and
My
enlightening
pleasure.
us. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
our educational journey crosses again. Always remember that learning is a gateway to a bright future.
That's right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.